Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the First Minister what immediate safeguarding measures will be in place to ensure that arrivals from Ukraine are protected from organised criminal activity, human trafficking and exploitation.
First Minister.
Any form of human trafficking or exploitation is abhorrent. People must be protected from it. Police Scotland's National Human Trafficking Unit continues to engage with internal and external partners and enforcement agencies to maintain a very high visibility of human trafficking and exploitation risks at points of entry around Scotland. And anyone with concerns about human trafficking should contact Police Scotland. In terms of safeguarding, where people are opening their homes to displaced people from Ukraine, hosts can apply for expedited disclosure checks of the same level of scrutiny as the initial checks carried out for those working with children and vulnerable adults. This is under the new regulations introduced last week to ensure that we have in place a safe, speedy and free vetting system.
Jamie Greene.
Can I thank the First Minister? I think we all thank the huge number of Scottish families who have come forward to open their homes to the Ukrainians who are coming here through the UK-wide scheme. But I think we also have to be realistic that sadly not everyone who offers help will be well-intentioned. In fact, organised criminal gangs may see what's happening in Ukraine as more of an opportunity than a tragedy. A number of very important organisations, including TARA, Survivors of Human Trafficking in Scotland and Scotland Against Modern Slavery, have all raised quite valid concerns about the vulnerability and desperation of those arriving and the real potential for harm posed by luring arrivals into low-paid, illegally or sexually exploitative activities, or even worse, simply being abused in private homes. So can I ask the First Minister, first of all, what work will be undertaken by the Government and its public agencies to adequately vet, prepare but also educate host families before the arrival of those coming to Scotland, but after they've arrived and settled, what ongoing safeguards will be in place in the medium to long term to ensure that we're tracking, tracing and monitoring both the well-being and the safety of those who have resettled in Scotland to make sure that none of them, absolutely none of them, are being exploited in any way whatsoever?
First Minister.
This is a really important issue, and we are designing and have been designing support services that make sure appropriate safeguarding is in place, but also that we take account, and the partners we are working with can take account of the ongoing well-being needs of those who come to Scotland. So disclosure checks are an important part of this, but having that multi-agency approach to make sure that people get the support they need, not just on arrival and when they're first being accommodated, but throughout the time that they may be in Scotland. One of the reasons for us agreeing the super-sponsor route with the UK Government is so that we could have an approach that gets people to Scotland quickly, then temporarily accommodates them, while in slightly, and I stress slightly slower time, we put in place all of the wider support and do all of the appropriate checks. So we have support arrangements already in place, starting with the welcome hubs that have been established. The big hold-up at the moment, and I say this, we are working constructively with the UK Government to try to resolve this. I met with Michael Gove earlier this week on this particular issue. We've got the super-sponsor route. We have the support in place. We are being held up at the moment by the slow pace of the granting of visas, and that is what I know the UK Government is seeking to speed up. I hope that happens quickly so that we can start to welcome significant numbers of people to Scotland with all of the support that Jamie Greene rightly identifies as being vital for them.